Just kill until they murder me.
Hello everyone. Sorry it's been a little bit. Been a little busy, but also waiting on parts. So I haven't been able to film much. But there is something here in my buddy's car that I wanted to show you guys if you're planning on doing some sort of swap in this car. Doesn't matter what kind of swap. So I took off the heat shielding. There's heat shielding that goes around that area that blocks all that stuff off. Now, as you can see, there's this like fabric, this sort of heat proof or firewall stuff that's kind of, as you can see, it's really dirty. You can take that stuff off. If you're doing a KSwap, your exhaust is going to be on this side anyway, towards the rear of the car. Your intake's going to be over there, so you don't really have to worry about that anymore. But what I did want to get to is some of the lines. Some of the lines from the fuel tank coming out of it for venting and return, and there's another one for a brake booster that goes around the car that I wanted to get to you guys, or explain to you guys. So this one here, I should have filmed this earlier when I had it still installed, but this one here goes all the way around the side of the car, all the way underneath the car, and it comes out this end. And there's this metal pipe that kind of hooks up into the intake manifold of the 3S GTE or 5S FE, and it's for the brake booster. So the reason why I took this off and just kind of put it back here is because the intake manifold's not going to be over here. So this is going to be a really short line. So I'm just going to run a short tube from underneath it, or I might even cut this. On mine, this is actually cut back a lot further. As you can see, this goes all the way down here. Oh, sorry. This goes all the way down here, all the way back down into the front of the car. I have mine cut down right about down there. Actually, no, I think mine's actually right over here. Either way, you don't have to keep this really long line, although some versions of the MR2 have a check valve. You do need that check valve so that you can keep the pressure inside the vacuum lines. So for this, I know a lot of people have been asking me about that. This little vent canister here. So we can get the light. See if I can get the light there. You guys see that? That little hard, whatever that thing is. That's for the vent. So like if you see, this is your fuel. This here on the stock tank, this is your fuel return line. This is the 6 AN equivalent. As you can see on the bottom there, he already has a line that's fed into, or it's already converted to an AN fitting line. And he already has a stock filter with that line at the bottom of it. This right here, it comes in your tank. This is a vent. Usually this goes into some sort of, there's like a little box in the very corner of this engine bay. I have all this tucked back here, but there's a little box back there that has another line that comes all the way over here, and it stops right here, and it goes into the charcoal canister, which sits right here-ish. So I got rid of all that because we don't need that, and because my buddy still had all that emission stuff because he was emissions legal for a while. So all that stuff is gone. You don't need that. As for this thing, I got rid of this when I was running this in my stock tank. It's basically just a vent. As long as you have a proper vent that's pointing downward, that's not really going into the cabin or going to get recirculated into the engine bay, or you don't want those fumes anywhere near the engine bay. It's hot. You don't want it going into the, you know what I'm saying? So you can get rid of that as long as you properly vent the tank. You should be fine. Again, like I don't have these of those panels there anymore. There's two of them. The heat shields, this is where the shifter cables come out of. As you can see, we have the slave cylinder kind of hooked up yet, or still, because I don't want to disconnect any of that until I have to. These are the heater lines for the car. So this is obviously the in, the out, or out in, whatever you want. I mean, it really doesn't matter. My buddy does want to keep heat, so I will be documenting how to keep that with the K24. And yeah, so in case you want to keep that, that'll be up for you. Everything else on this side, since he's, like I said, he's keeping the stock tank. This is the fuel filler hose or hard line. Same with this one. This, I want to point out, this little, this is like a rubber line. This goes directly to the tank. And this one is like a 10 AN like braided line. And it is old. Like these get old and brittle and they start to break apart. And I would just replace mine with like some 10AN black nylon line. And I think I'm going to do the same for him because I don't trust those things. Just because of how old they are, they can fall apart, especially if you're going to be running in sort of race fuel, blah, blah, blah. Just don't risk it. It's maybe a foot of 10AN line. That'll cost you what, $3? Let's see, anything else on this side is not, you do, if the factory or this throttle cable, the factory throttle cable actually exits through that side or comes in through this side of the engine bay. Not like on this side, like you see it here. Sorry about that, guys. Video kind of cut off on me. Anyways, as I was saying, this throttle cable is normally on that side, on the passenger side. It is not normally on this side, so you need to go to the very front of the car. Underneath the car, it's like a clip. You just unhook it and switch it to this side. It's like it clips to one of the metal brackets down there, or I think it might be a coolant hose or one of the metal coolant hoses, and it's basically just like a big C-clip that has a two-way C-clip that clips to this and clips to the hose, and then you can just switch it to this side because your throttle is going to be coming in from this. The throttle body is going to be facing your driver's side. So just be aware of that. You need to switch that over. Not a lot of people actually go over something like that. Let's see what else I can go over for you guys here. I mean, I haven't really started on any. I mean, I've cleaned the bay. I'm going to remove that firewall carpet, but everything else, I'm kind of at a standstill. I'm still waiting on my buddy's manifold. I have the motor's on the stand. I got it cleaned up. Everything else is pretty much done to it. Whoops, camera's going a little crazy. Got everything nice. I got this sealed up. I redid the timing tensioner. All the stuff has been redone. Timing chain guide. I still haven't done the oil pan's on there. I cleaned it all up, but I'm still waiting on the manifold in order to get like a proper the oil drain drilled exactly where I want it. Another awesome issue that I was having was this thing. Where is it? This bolt here. The one on this side, the one on this corner, so you can see it in the back there, was broken into the manifold or into the block, and I had to drill that out and freaking helicoil that. And these, oh my god, there was a lot of threads on this block that were trouble. So I just got my tap kit out and chased every single thread and repaired, I think, about 40 of them. Everything from these up here to these small to everything was kind of like the bolts wouldn't run down smooth. Anyway, manifold's on for good. I just need to deal with getting this. Like I said, my buddy wants to keep heat, so I got to get a hose that connects to that up there to this down here, and then deal with this here. I might have to cut this. Right about right here, I think. Let me get my camera in there. Might have to cut this right around here, just before this nipple, so my buddy can keep his heat because he wants to keep heat. So, yeah, sorry guys, not a lot of updates. I mean, like I said, I'm still waiting on the manifold. So until I get the manifold, a little deal is going crazy. All right, so a little gyro is going crazy. I do have a turbo back there. I mean, I can't. It's getting really cold outside, and I didn't want to start working on this car in the cold. It's like it's just outside of Vegas, so it gets a lot colder. It's the desert. So I have his car on the dollies, so I can just move them around. I can just slide the car around. I have it like kissed up against everything back here. And mine's just chilling. So as soon as I get the manifold, I will start going over like how do you install the cannibal kit onto the or the cannibal kit entirely. I did. If you can see here, his transmission here was black. I mean, it was you see those parts down there? See how grimy and they were like that. This entire transmission was just, whoo. So you can see the tarps up here. I still haven't washed them off, but I have some aluminum oxide, and I just hit it with the aluminum oxide, covered all the necessary holes, and done. It's nice and clean now. So yeah, so I know it's been a while, guys, but like I just don't like to record content just to record content. I want to make sure it's going to be helpful for you guys. Yeah, just real quick, guys. Something I was reminded of. I had a few guys asking me about my breather, my crankcase breathers. I had my setup a little differently, and I had just recently redid it because of this water plate. I don't know if you can see that silver, the little silver block off right there. This was direct. This is an 8AN, and I enlarged it to a 12. And it was filling up my catch can really fast. So now I redid this setup, and I have this one going directly to my can, and now my can is actually standing straight up. It wasn't before. It's blocked off now because I don't have another bung, but I am going to be adding another one here, and now I'm running a larger filter up here. It was not smoking, I guess you could say, all that crankcase stuff whenever I was doing a pull, and I noticed that the motor was actually moving a lot, and I mean a lot. It would rock back like 2 inches. I don't know. No, 3 is too much. Maybe 1.5 inches, something like that. Enough for like the turbo and some other stuff to hit some heat shielding that I had back there that I have since removed. So my idea is to have one of these. This is another spare rear mount, and I have on mine, I have a poly insert, and it's clearly not doing anything. So what I'm going to do is take this metal plate, and I'm going to weld it. So this is towards the front of the car. So, and I'm going to weld it here across so that the bolt, well, it's bolted there, but it won't move. So because right now it's rocking way too much, and I'm looking at the inside, the insert here. I don't know if you guys can see. Actually, yeah, you can see it right there, the red inserts, and they don't do anything. It's super soft. So I'm gonna deal with that. And I don't want to cover this any more than I need to, because I know I've had a lot of problems with it, but I redid my alternator tensioner yet again. Thicker plate this time, way thicker, everything drilled it. I mean, it's beefy. So anyways, so I think I'll end it there, and hopefully the next time I got a video, my buddy's Mindful will be here, and we'll be ready to install the cannibal kit. So till then, peace.